Yes, sis. She says, I don't think women realize how deeply it can affect their friends when they're in a bad relationship. And that is so true because I have to tell you, I had to leave a job in television news. I had a friend, a reporter friend, and she was with a photographer who was violent and who was beating her, right? And every time she'd get beaten, she'd have run to me, right? And I'm trying to help her and trying to save her and everything. And then that MF started messing with me on my job, threatening me and messing up things and sabotaging my work and everything. And I had to leave. Of course, she stayed there. So I ended up having to leave my cush job and go somewhere else because I'm trying to protect and help her. I'm telling y'all, young women, you got a friend that's in an abusive relationship. People are like, well, stay there with your friends. Mm-mm. If it is hurting you, because 100 times out of 100 times, a woman is not going to leave an abusive relationship because you are there supporting her. She's not going to do it. Because what's going to happen is he then is going to turn her against you or come back with some lie that you was trying to talk to him or you jealous of her and you have your own man and y'all doing wonderful. But for some reason, he'll be able to twist that around on you. You know, I had a friend that was with a guy and I, I don't even know how this happened. So we were having a conversation about Rihanna. I mean, no, it wasn't Rihanna, Sierra. We were having this conversation about Sierra. Now, mind you, all of us girls, she had never had a man. And we had a circle of friends. And this man just inserted himself into our circle of girlfriends. In fact, one night we had a sleepover because we would often do that as some grown ass women, right? We would have sleepovers where we would just like, hey, we're gonna party tonight, and then we just gonna stay at at one of the sisters' house, one of our friends' houses, right? So he shows up, right? And I don't know how we got in, how this even came up, but we had been drinking heavily, and Sierra came up. And my issue that I've always had with Sierra is that people act like that Russell Wilson was so good and that he rescued her and saved her like she was just some rabid dog or some prostitute on the street, and Russell Wilson saw her and he was like, well, I'm going to rescue her and save her and take her out of prostitution and save her life. And I was letting them know that a lot of times these men, because even him, he was from the Pentecostal church. And instead of marrying one of the women in the Pentecostal church, he's with my friend that wore makeup and that was the exact opposite of Pentecostal, right? I don't know how this happened, but I think he did it because she was good friends with me I could see through him. I could see that he had some anger in him and he was always pretending like he was just so nice. And I was like, But I saw him say and do something hateful to her daughter that's not his. And from there, I kind of started looking at him sideways, and I said something to her about what he had said about her child, right? So next thing you know, we are at this sleepover that we're having, and Sierra and Russell Wilson comes up. Now, she had a child, and he didn't have any children. So somehow, I'm drinking, I'm talking, and I'm trying to express how I feel like that if he's a man that's supposed to, Russell Wilson, and these men, and I wasn't talking about him at the time, but a man that is so into the church, and I said something to the effect of how, like, men can be at church with the woman with a wash face that's grew up with him and groomed to marry him, and then he will leave the church and go find a woman in a short red dress and marry her. And I kind of compared that to Russell Wilson in my inebriated self, right? And I said something about, I don't feel like that Russell Wilson saved her. You know, I feel like that she was beautiful, talented, already a star, and nobody knew who he was until he got with her. But everybody's acting like that he's the prize and that he saved her. And I said that to him. And the next thing you know, he went and twisted that around to my really good friend, who actually was my best friend, and twisted around. And by the time it got back to her, it was that I didn't think that men that didn't have children should be with women who have children. And no matter how I tried to explain that that wasn't what I said or what I was talking about, he just kept it going to the point to where he posted something on Facebook. You see, Candace, Russell Wilson had already been married and he was married to a white woman. And I don't see anything wrong with him getting with a black woman just because she has a kid. And then that was the whole scenario. So then I had a whole bunch of people on Facebook that were mad at me because he, the narcissist that he is, twisted all of that around to make it seem like that I was saying that a man that don't have children is too good for a woman with children, knowing that he was with my best friend who had a child. So, and it caused me a rift with a lot of friends that I had. And so I backed off and let her alone because, like I always say, I can show you better than I can tell you. And I'm still showing her because people are starting to find out now. So in any case, yes, they do not know how it can affect their friends. They don't understand how them being with an abusive or trifling legacy of low achievement man can affect you in their friendship. I had another friend I was with, a Lola, and he was supporting a Lola that I was dating at the time. And when I broke up with the Lola, he sided with his counterpart. So then, which made me not want to fool with him, which in turn hurt her feelings because I didn't want to fool with her man. And I just had to explain to all of my friends, and I made a declaration that your men are your men and you're my friend. You're my friend, because if something happens between you and the man, you're going to expect me to come with you. You're not going to expect me to go with him. So don't get mad at me if I cut off your man because of something that has nothing to do with me, because he did something I didn't like, because he did something to you that I didn't like. He's your man. He's not mine. And again, sisters, a woman is never going to, if she's sleeping with a man, she is not, it's not like she's going to be able to stop sleeping with him and having whatever support she's getting, man support. She's not going to be able to get it from you. So you're going to be the one that's left out. So I would say that if you got friends that's going to choose a man like that over you, or that is with an abusive man, just leave them alone. You know, they'll find out sooner or later. And if they don't, you still don't deserve to have to go through all of the abuse that they have to go through because they have chose a legacy of low achievement man. Leave them alone. Go find you some friends that are on your level. Friends that's not with an abusive man. Friends that's not with a trifling man. Get with somebody that's on your level of healing, and y'all go on a friendship journey together.